and welcome to today's episode of the Business Meets Fitness podcast with your host, Lauren Tickner. And today's episode, you are going to love it, especially if you're someone who is sick of seeing these spammy posts on Instagram where it's like, buy this tub of protein now and use my 10% discount code. Because let's be real, that is not the way to build a solid business through your personal brand. And as someone who is a fitness coach or who's wanting to make it in the fitness industry, whether you're a personal trainer in person, online, or whether you have another type of online fitness business or whatever, then this podcast is going to be extremely helpful for you, because Julia is my guest today. She is the CEO and founder of a company called Spotter, and there is a link to Spotter in the description box, as well as a link to all of the things that I talk about. And I also actually have a free resource for anybody who's wanting to build an online fitness business, which is my online fitness business free training. It is an email training, and you get a series of emails over the course of 2 weeks that give you an action plan and strategy in order to build your own online fitness business. So the link to all of these resources are in the show notes. App you are listening to this on, just head to the show notes. If it's on iTunes, just click the 3 little dots on the bottom right hand corner of the page in the podcast app on Apple, and then just click at the top where it says the name of this episode. There's a little arrow on the right next to it, and it will take you to a page where you can basically click more, and then it will expand the whole entire show notes where there are clickable links in order for you to access all of these resources right away. You do not want to miss out on this free email training, because for every single person who is listening right now, it is so relevant to you. So it's just so easy to sign up. Honestly, you just have to enter your email and your name and it will be delivered right to you. So anyway, we talk all about affiliate marketing and how you can use product recommendations to build your personal brand, and how you can also make more money as a personal trainer or as a fitness coach or whatever it is that you do in the fitness industry. You can still make more money from it, whether you're in a position like me where you have a social media following, or whether you are literally someone who's also kind of just doing in-person personal training and you recommend supplements to other people. You can start making money through that. And again, the link to downloading Spotter is in the show notes. So remember, all the resources are in the show notes. This is an epic interview, and I really think you're going to like it. And yeah, all of this stuff that this kind of spiel I had to give you in the beginning, I just had to do it because there was so much stuff in the show notes for this podcast, because there's so many awesome resources. And yes, all of the things that I reference, I've linked. For example, the creatine that I genuinely do recommend, and those omega-3s that Julia was talking about, they are linked, because let's be real, this is an affiliate marketing episode, so why not leave my affiliate links and make a little bit of extra cash so that I can invest more money into the podcast? It's just my way of thinking, guys, just my way of thinking. So anyway, I'm just messing around. Well, I am kind of serious, but you know what I'm saying. So anyway, let's get into today's episode. I hope you like it. Remember, if you do like it, just tell one friend about it. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for a review. I'm not asking for anything crazy. I'm literally just asking you to please share it with one friend. Perhaps you have another personal trainer who you might think would like this. Instead of telling them directly about the app, tell them about this podcast so they can really learn what Spotter is all about, and so they can really hear Julia's story, and so they can really get a better understanding of how they can use this to build their brand. Because remember, when you're listening to a podcast, you might not remember every single thing about it. So just share the direct podcast with them. You're only helping them, and you're also helping me in turn. So without further ado, let's get this podcast rolling.
I'm good, thank you. The sun's shining, it's a lovely day, all good.
It is absolutely beautiful today, and I'm very, very excited to have you on the show today, because that's something that I like to talk about a lot, is kind of really giving authentic product recommendations, and not just, spamming all my followers with detox teas and all that rubbish, because I really want to help my followers and I really care about that. And I know you have a strong background in affiliate marketing, despite the fact that it maybe wasn't in the fitness industry, but I know now you have pivoted to the fitness industry. So would you just be able to kind of give the listeners a bit of a background about what you do, maybe give it in about 1 minute, and then after that maybe move into a bit more of an in-depth explanation on your current business and what you're doing for the whole fitness community?
Sure. Well, I guess to start a little bit with my background. So I've spent about the last 11 years working in affiliate marketing, and that's been across all sorts of different things, like a lot in telecoms, finance, hotels, that kind of thing. And I've worked everything from tiny little startups with no money up to kind of £100 million revenue online businesses. And for the last couple of years, I've really kind of redirected focus and started working in the fitness industry. And that was a big sort of personal choice of mine based on my real sort of passion. I'm a powerlifter and I'm a qualified nutritionist. And I've been doing that sort of in my spare time for a while and just really wanted to start working in an industry and a sector that I love. And I guess a big part of the motivation for why we set up Spotter was because I felt like there was a real problem going on in the fitness industry that we could help solve. And there's sort of two angles on that. I guess on the first side, while I was doing my nutrition qualification, I was doing this master's with some really good PTs who were doing an awesome service for their clients. And they were really, really struggling to make ends meet. And they were telling me stories like they would buy protein when it was on sale, carry the big tubs into the gym and sell them to their clients to make a few quid. And coming from affiliate marketing, I was like, hang on a minute, we can help with that. And then on the other side, I consulted for about a year with one of the biggest supplement retailers in the UK. And they really tried to foster good relationships with PTs, but they had an incredibly small team. They had maybe one or two people who were dealing with thousands and thousands of PTs, as well as all the rest of their online marketing. And they really wanted to reach this audience who have so much influence and so much power to talk with clients, but just had no real channel to do that in. And I kind of felt like we could solve that by being the intermediary, I guess. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, really, really cool. I mean, I think it's insane because I think, you know, so many personal trainers, they recommend a product from a company and they get nothing back. And that's a massive problem because, you know, if you're genuinely recommending something, and word of mouth recommendation is everything. And if you're able to recommend something to somebody and you can get a commission from that, then, I mean, it's just business, isn't it? Really, it's just business practice. So I think that it's a lovely gap between kind of the everyday personal trainer who's struggling to scale up. Because, you know, when you are an in-person personal trainer, you only have a certain amount of hours per day. Perhaps you haven't yet built your online presence and you might be working on that as a personal trainer, because I 100% believe that every personal trainer should be working on that as well. But it's a great way to make some extra money while you are still working on that. And it's awesome as well, Julia, because not only that, but someone like me can also use Spotter because I can also then recommend products authentically to my massive audience online. Because often I think, you know, let's say you're sponsored by one company, then you might be, or you might even have it in your contract, you might be a little bit biased to that company, or you might not even be allowed to recommend any other company's products. But personally, I know that I'm 1 week I might buy creatine from My Protein, I might buy protein powder from PE Science, and I might buy omega-3s from some like random specialist kind of like nutrition, like high-end place.
Exactly. And I guess as a nutritionist, I would say different companies are good for different things. So like get that omega-3 from Solgar, for example. Like they're always going to have really high quality stuff.
Link is in the description for the podcast.
But I guess at the same time, I feel like for PTs to be able to do this themselves, there are really high barriers to entry. You've either got to have already a really big social media following so you can get in and get that sponsorship, and then, as you say, be locked into just a single brand, or be able to kind of use technical knowledge, and I can maybe explain a little bit more about this, to go and get affiliate links for yourself. But to maybe just explain a little bit about what Spotter actually is and how it works. So it's a completely free site to sign into. Once you sign in, we've got databases of every product pretty much from major retailers in the UK. So we work with 50 online retailers, and we've got something like about 20,000 products in our database, and all the usual guys that you would expect to see, like My Protein, USN, PhD, sort of Monster Supplement, Boots, even all these sort of guys are in there that you can pick from. We get exclusive discount codes from them for either our trainers or their clients to be able to use to save money on the purchase. And you just type in what you want to do. So let's say, for example, you wanted to go, I want to take My Protein Impact Whey. Type in My Protein Impact Whey. link comes up, click on it, then you send that to your clients, and you can send it to them on WhatsApp, you can send it to them by email, text message, or you can copy a link to your clipboard. And some of our personal trainers do that, to maybe copy it into an online group that they have, or to like send it in a newsletter that they have, or something like that.
Or even if they're in a similar position to me, I could copy that link, and then I could, let's say you have over 10,000 followers on Instagram, you can put it on your Insta story, and then your followers can simply just swipe straight up. So then you'll automatically be getting that commission.
Yeah, exactly. And then we track the sales that get made through that link. And as soon as we see that sales come through, the trainer gets a notification and the cash goes into their bank account. And it's as easy as that.
Easy way to make money.
Yeah. Well, I think particularly when you're early on in the fitness industry, it can be really difficult to kind of make ends meet and struggle financially. And there's some statistics that over half of all fitness businesses go out of business within their first year. Ooh. I think it's actually probably much higher than that. It's just that it doesn't get like officially recorded. And I think that's really sad, because actually the service that a personal trainer can provide to their client increase their fitness, increase their confidence, make them have a better lifestyle, and yet they're struggling to be able to kind of survive in the industry. And I think that's really sad. So it's kind of our little baby step way of trying to be able to help with that, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it's absolutely amazing. This is, again, like what you were saying, kind of, you know, how people, over half of them are not making it in their fitness job. That is another reason why, like I always say it, but I'm so passionate about getting people to try and build their online presence and to try and build up their social media following and to become like an authority figure within their niche. But anyway, that is a whole nother story. So Julia, I know you said that you've done a lot of work in the world of affiliate marketing. Now, I would love to ask you the question before kind of moving on, is just about how do you think that giving authentic product recommendations can help somebody build their personal brand and can help them become this kind of authority figure within their niche or within the type, you know, whoever they're trying to target. Let's say their name is Kathy, and Kathy is trying to talk to mums, and she wants to help mums who have just had their kid to get into fitness, and she wants to be a PT for these mums. How is recommending products going to help Kathy build her personal brand as well as her income?
Well, I guess the overall purpose of this comes down to how do you represent yourself as someone that can help your clients achieve their goals. And if your clients can see themselves making progress and can feel like they're on their journey, then I think that's what makes a client stay with a personal trainer and really feel attached to them. And it's also what kind of giving that image and that reputation within the industry is what will bring new clients to you. So say, for example, you've got Kathy working with new mums. She could go down the like Instagram detox tea. This will help you lose weight. That's a very easy, quick way to potentially make some cash. How genuine does that look to your following, and how will those people look at that as advice that they can use and see results from? Whereas, say, for example, to take it on a micro level, let's imagine Kathy's talking to one of those mums and she's saying to her, okay, maybe you don't have enough protein in your diet. Maybe you've never tried it before. Okay, here's a nice, cheap, low carb protein that you can try out. Try adding this into your diet a couple of times a day. And here's a link where you can buy it and get it cheap since you haven't tried that. And I've seen research that 1 in every 3 purchases that happens in the fitness industry happens from that kind of recommendation. So this is a huge amount of this is already going on, but so much of it, that conversation would happen. And then Kathy's client will walk away really happy, and Kathy's got no credit for that service that she's just done. Or imagine that's taking place in the gym. Kathy's client is maybe in the middle of doing her stretches and her cool down. She's all sweaty. She wanders off. She goes in the shower. She comes out of the shower and she goes, what was that Kathy said that I should take again? I don't remember. Like, I bet that happens all the time. So if Kathy actually sends her a WhatsApp after the session and says, look, this is the thing I was talking about, take this and use this discount code, it's just so much better service for the actual client themselves, because they're getting a really clear, personalized recommendation of what they should take, and they've got a discount code. And you can jump that up a level as well. You could jump that up to group training, online training, picking products that you've seen work with people, with yourself or your clients, and talking about that in an Instagram story, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, amazing. I think that is seriously so true. I've seen it myself as well, where let's say I was to take the topic of creatine monohydrate, and then I could, the thing is, I think a lot of people recommend, like, let's say this can also be damaging. Affiliate marketing can be damaging. Let's say I was to recommend creatine, like whatever the hell they're called, like creatine, let's just make a random name up, Monster Creatine Pro, the best in the world. Okay, so if I'm like recommending this has got like
£50, yeah.
yeah, and it's super expensive. Whereas if I then am able to turn around to my audience, because I genuinely am a true believer in creatine monohydrate. Creatine monohydrate is the most research supplement out there on humans. Creatine monohydrate is cheap AF, and also it's been proven to show that if you are supplementing with creatine monohydrate, then you can saturate your body with more creatine than your body can ever possibly get just from eating meat. Because by the way, creatine is in meat for any of the listeners. So anyway, I'm on a tangent here, but the reason is I recommend the creatine monohydrate, and I give solid backing, as this is a really important thing to any PTs who are going to start using Spotter, and I do highly recommend it. So, so you recommend creatine monohydrate, and then you give reasons why creatine monohydrate is good. Maybe even, you could give some resources in order to help them out even further and to help and strengthen their understanding of it. Because, especially for someone who's perhaps new to the gym and you're training them, it can be a little bit daunting. They hear all these things about creatine and they're like, oh my gosh, it's going to make me hold water. And then if you provide some, solid evidence as to why it helps them hold water in their muscles, not under their skin, like all this stuff is going to help. And it's also going to show them, as your client or as one of your followers, that you are somebody who knows what they're talking about. Because along with a product recommendation, you can give expert information, and you can really, really, it helps you establish yourself as an authority figure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also, I guess it's worth pointing out that I think not every personal trainer has to be a supplement expert. And I think that one of the other things that we really want to help with is just to give some little tips about how that kind of thing works. So I'm fully with you on creatine monohydrate. As a powerlifter and a female and a vegetarian, I would be screwed without creatine monohydrate. But maybe you need a little bit of pointers on how that works, and we send that kind of stuff out through Spotter as well. Just things like, here's 5 supplements that you might want to think about if you're training a new client in the gym. And I'm at the end of our chat facility as well, and I'm a nutritionist, so we can help with that kind of thing.
That's amazing. That's such a good little resource for fitness coaches and personal trainers. That's brilliant. Awesome. So now kind of moving into, I suppose, a little bit more with regards to affiliate marketing, because it can be very, I'm going to give a little story. So when I first started, little 17-year-old Lauren, actually I was 16 when I started, I believe. But when I was 17, I'd say I had around like 1,000 followers. 18, I probably had like 7,000 to 8,000 followers. I was getting companies come at me left, right, and center being like, hey, do you want to be an affiliate for my sports leggings? And like all this random stuff. And I would get these offers, and these companies would come to me saying, we'll give you free stuff in return for all this stuff. And so look, this is different to Spotter, because in Spotter you're just getting the link, you're not getting the product, you're just getting the link. So perhaps you've already gone out and bought the product. Now, I'm a true believer in anyone who does any sort of affiliate marketing should have already tried the product before they then start marketing for it, or they should know that it's worked for their friend for a particular case. Something like, let's say, take the mum as an example again. Like, let's say you know that a product works on a mum who's just had a kid. Maybe you're not a mum who's had a kid, but you know that it works on a mum who has a kid. So just make sure that you have your reasoning behind the thing that you're affiliate marketing. Anyway, so they grab the link, but they can go onto Spotter and they can see so many links. Or they get these companies sliding into their DM saying, hey, do you want to be an affiliate? We'll give you free stuff and we'll give you a link. How do people know when it's too much? Because that can be a problem. I know when I started, I would get this free stuff sent to me all the time. I'd post it on Instagram. They'd literally say, we'll send it to you. Just post it on Instagram as a return. And when I had like no followers, and when I didn't know truly about personal branding and how it is so important to kind of have so much trust in my audience, I was like, hell yeah, some freebies. I'm all over that. I'll take that. How the hell, Julia, do people know when it's too much?
I think that what you talked about there about being true to what you believe is a good product is really important. So maybe you could say to them, send me the product, I'll have a look at it, I'll decide if I like it, and then I'll decide whether or not I'm going to post it. I think there's also something about like push-pull when it comes to this. So all those companies were pushing stuff to you and they were saying, promote us, promote us. And maybe they were really small brands who were looking to build up their exposure. And if you've got a really good product and you're starting a company with a good product, maybe that's a really great thing to do to actually get it into the hands of people that can recommend it. But if I was a personal trainer and I wanted to recommend products, I would do it the other way around. I would pull that information to myself. So let's say, for example, I picked, we talked a little bit there about Solgar Omega-3, right?
Yeah.
So I would pick that as a product where I say, okay, I think this is a well-manufactured product that has benefits for people. And then I would look for a way that I could promote that. And if this is something that you want to do, I would really recommend an affiliate network that's called awin.com. That's AWIN. And they're the biggest one in the UK by a really long way. They're kind of like the Google of affiliate marketing, where others are the Yahoo in the UK market specifically. And they've got most of the major supplement retailers and fitness equipment retailers that are kind of the big brands. And you can log up to them and get a free account once you get your details checked. Then once you're in there, you can apply to different programs. So you could apply to the My Protein program, you could apply to the Boots program, and then you're able to create something called a tracking link, which is sort of a technical code that lets them attribute sales back to you. And that's what you can put into your Instagram posts or recommendations that you send to people. There's also quite a big wiki in AWIN that explains to you how a lot of that stuff works and how affiliate marketing works. And then you get paid once they've approved that sale and you hit a minimum payment threshold within your accounts. So if you want to set up your own affiliate campaigns, that is something that you can definitely do and personal trainers do frequently within the affiliate industry. I guess our reason for starting Spotter is just to make that a little bit easier and a bit quicker.
Julia, I was about to cut you off.
I guess. Yeah.
I was about to cut you off there because I was going to say I've used AWIN before when I've worked with particular companies who I used to be an ambassador for and an affiliate for. However, genuinely, like when I went into Spotter, it was only recently I went in and I saw it for the very first time and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to change the game for personal trainers. And I'm being so sincere right now because like, as somebody, because for me it's a bit different. For me, I get contacted by companies very often, and when I want to create a long-term partnership with them, it has to be very serious. There has to be big contracts in place because I typically, if I was to sign a contract with a supplement company, there would also be a salary involved where I'd get paid a monthly salary by them as well, a monthly retainer. However, the good thing about affiliate marketing and like Spotter in particular is that you can literally go on there, grab the link, and it's just really easy to kind of start promoting right away. You can literally go on the website and you can grab a link and then you're promoting already. Whereas on like AWIN, you have to kind of go on there and then you have to pretty much like get approved by the company, blah, 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 all this stuff. And of course, you know, there's a time and a place for that, definitely, especially if you're really kind of upscaling your online business and there's maybe something on Spotter that doesn't work for you or like that you want, that's not on Spotter. Like maybe a clothing company or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, anyway, just on a bit of a tangent here, but no, I think it just really simplifies it, and it means that you're able to kind of browse all the products as well, because there might be some products on there that you haven't thought about and you're like, oh, that would actually work really well for this client. Or so I don't know, I think it's cool. So I think there is a big fine line kind of between being spammy and being authentic. And I think this is a very important thing for people to realize, because look, if you have clients and then you are trying to upsell them with these products that you're going to earn commission on all the time, then they're going to get, you know, a bit kind of sick of it. And let's say, as I mentioned earlier with my creatine example, you need to be genuine and you need to realize, yes, you could recommend the more expensive creatine product and you could earn more money from that, but you don't want to try rip your clients off. And it all comes down to, how do you want to be seen?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you're making genuine product recommendations that you believe that your clients might need, then that can only build your brand. And I think that whole idea of sort of looking for ways to earn cash outside of just selling more hours is something really important for trainers. And I think you talked about this really well in your last podcast, different ways that trainers could do that. But I think we're just trying to make one particular element of that as easy as we possibly can.
Yeah, no, awesome. So yeah, I think just the whole thing with being spammy is something that a lot of people can fall into really easily when they first get started as well, especially let's just take Instagram as an example. I can't even tell you how many times, and look, I probably used to do this when I first started, maybe not to quite as much of a degree, because the whole kind of Instagram getting paid to post and getting free stuff in return for posts wasn't such a thing then. But I'll see things now where people are like, they in their Instagram bio, it'll be like ambassador for whatever company, and then they'll put their 10% discount code. And then every single one of their posts or every other post is then posting about that company. And I think this can be a massive danger when it comes to protecting your personal brand, like, because you're really kind of losing sight of your own personal brand, and it becomes you posting about somebody else's stuff. And of course, if this is really the route that you want to go down, and you really truly want to be an ambassador for that company for like a long time, and you're truly in line with everything that they're doing, then by all means go for it. But I would say for 99.999% of people, it's not going to be the way to go. And I think that can be another thing that can kind of damage your personal brand and your online fitness coaching or your in-person fitness coaching business. It can really damage it because it makes you kind of just seem, it just looks spammy. Like, let's just be real. It just does.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess maybe if I give you a couple of stories of trainers who I think are doing really interesting things with this. So we work with one trainer who's quite young, and he works in a big chain gym, sort of freelancing. And he's also just starting out as a IFBB bodybuilder. So he has loads of different people coming up to him going like, how do I look like you? What do I take? That kind of thing. And he's adapted the way that he talks to them into sending them recommendations through Spotter for the products that he uses or he thinks would work well for them. And so he's sending them things like protein and creatine, that kind of thing. And he's making sales every day. So for him, being quite early on in his career and working in a sort of freelance in a really big chain gym, which can be quite a hard life, it's probably about the same as him having a couple of extra clients a week.
Wow.
Another one of our trainers is a little bit more established and runs quite a lot of group classes. And he does a lot of like teaching people how to use foam roller group classes. And he's set up a really clever email automated system that sends an email to everyone after the class that they've attended that says like, thanks for coming. Here's a little bit of what you learned. This is when our next class is. And here's a link to if you want to buy your own foam roller, like the one that we used in class. And that's using a Spotter link. And that's just sort of a couple of little examples of guys who are doing really well using Spotter, making a decent extra source of income, who I think are using it in the right kind of way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's really, really cool. And actually, I must admit, Julia, I wasn't actually aware that you also had other things on there. I thought it was just supplements. So that's really, really cool to hear.
Yeah, we've just added in loads of small fitness equipment, but we've got a supplier who does literally everything that you can find in a gym. So we can even do like full-on gym equipment if people want that.
I love that.
It's so easy for us to add more products as well. If ever there's anything that anyone wants to promote that they don't see on there, it takes us about 5 minutes to add it in. So
cool. Amazing. Okay, so now I just want to kind of pivot a little bit, because obviously you were saying beforehand that you used to work in like broadband and kind of affiliate marketing for various different industries. Now you obviously are passionate about powerlifting and fitness, and I wanted to know what made you want to pivot away from the old industries that you worked in to doing and working in a fitness in an industry that you love.
I think that it's sort of been spurred on by the fitness journey that I had myself. So for a very long time, I was working in online marketing, sitting at a desk all day. I knew absolutely nothing about nutrition or fitness, and I was really overweight. And I started going to like a chain gym near my house. And I was so lucky because I had the world's most amazing personal trainer. And he was just working there kind of for free, giving me introductory sessions. But he was so positive and so encouraging and really made me sort of learn to love being able to move. And I started lifting a little bit. And someone came up to me and went, "Oh, when are you going to compete?" And I was like, what on earth are you talking about? Competing what? And I think all I knew about at that point was bodybuilding and bikini shows. I kind of discovered the world of powerlifting, sort of developed a real passion for nutrition and what things like sports nutrition can do to your body and for your performance. And that's what led me to do my master's in strength and conditioning and qualify as a nutritionist with ISSN. And it was during the course of doing all of that, which I didn't really start for a business reason, that I saw this opportunity for Spotter and really wanted to take all of the skills that I'd learned from working for the last 11 years in affiliate marketing and turn them onto an industry where I can see how it makes real differences to people's lives. So if I can kind of help in a little way with that kind of thing, that's something I'm really passionate about.
Yeah, amazing.
And I do other things like I work with London Sport, who are part of the Mayor's office, with their sort of incubator for new fitness businesses, sort of looking at new fitness technology and different ways that different types of technology can help with personal training businesses or gym businesses. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit at Body Power, but I just find it really interesting. I love it all. It's great.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. I think that like I'm such a true believer in kind of doing what you love. And I also kind of love the whole fact that it's just when you work in the fitness industry and you can tell from your true passion, Julia, you're doing it to help people. And I think that, that's what business comes down to. I mean, I think, well, you hope anyway, in the majority of people's cases, and I think especially nowadays, but it's just really awesome to see the passion in your voice because, you can tell that you care about helping these people, not have to trade so much time for money because you see so many personal trainers waking up at for example, my boyfriend's a personal trainer. He wakes up at 4:30 and then he goes to do all his training while he's a university student and all that. And so, for example, Spotter is going to be super helpful for him when it comes to recommending products to his clients because it means that he's going to be able to earn this extra source of income on the side. And I think when you're working in an industry, because a lot of people who work in the fitness industry work in the fitness industry because they love fitness. And it's such a shame that they're not able to really make the most of it and to make the most of their knowledge and to make the most of everything that they're doing because they're having to, again, trade so much time for money. So I think that it's really cool to kind of see that working in an industry that you love is kind of helping you to just inflict greater good in the world, I guess. So what's the kind of been the best thing for you since you've shifted into working in the industry that you love?
I think a lot of it is the people that I've got the opportunity to talk to. I think talking with a lot of our trainers and understanding what they're doing, what kind of people they're helping, how we can help them with some of the challenges that they're facing is a big part of my job that I really, really love. And things like we first took our prototype to Body Power the year before last, maybe when we were just starting out thinking about the business and showed it to people and they were like, we've never seen anything like this. This would be awesome. It's so difficult for us to do this at the moment. And we thought this is really cool. Maybe we can actually help solve a real problem.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's really, really cool. So you just mentioned kind of the challenges that people face. What would you say is kind of some of the biggest challenges you see that personal trainers face? Obviously, other than the fact that they have to trade so much time for money.
Yeah. Well, I think that most of the trainers that I talk to, I think a lot of them are really, really confident in how they're training their clients and how they're helping their clients. And they're really good at coaching and talking about fitness. Obviously, different people are at different levels of experience in their careers, but that passion really shines through. I think that where personal trainer businesses can fall through is on the financial and the business side of things. So, for example, people can often point themselves down a bit of a red herring. Like, for example, you might go, okay, I want to move online. I'm going to spend thousands of pounds getting a website built for me that's really expensive without having a plan behind that and not thinking about how you're going to bring people to that, how you're going to market it, who you're targeting, when actually you could just knock up a site using an online editor really easily yourself if you wanted to test it out. Yeah. So I think trying to make moves into things that are away from the core of fitness and coaching can be tricky, and people early on can sometimes jump a little bit down the wrong path, and that can be part of what puts them in financial trouble, I think. So I think things like your podcast as a resource for being able to understand that is really useful for PTs.
Yeah, awesome. No, thank you. Thanks for that compliment. Yeah, I think I couldn't agree more actually, because I think it's really cool because, you know, people who work in the fitness industry are so passionate about fitness. They love what they do. They love helping people. You can hear it in their voices. You can see it on their social media profiles. And you know, when someone really knows what they're talking about, you can really tell, you know, especially with the people who are reading things like maths and who are really educating themselves and who are constantly working on being the best trainer they can be in order to best serve their clients. You can tell. But yeah, the issue does kind of lie when it comes to scaling up their business. Because let's say you've been working in a gym environment your whole time. Well, naturally, if you're in a commercial gym, let's just say, or like maybe even just a local gym, or any gym really, clients are going to be members of that gym anyway. And so, and when you kind of are in a gym, there's going to be, you know, members walking around. You can just have a chat with them, or they may even come to you for personal training, or your gym may even just give you the clients depending on what gym you're working in. And so then actually kind of using your business brain, and maybe let's say you leave the gym and you decide to go it alone, you get a studio, or maybe you want to do boot camps and stuff. It can be really, really hard to figure out how to scale your business. And so that's what I aim to help people with on this podcast, and through bringing on different guests. It's like, for example, bringing on you, it's helping them find other ways of making money. And then several different kind of products and emails that I send out to my email list as well. It's like trying to just help these people figure out how to do online business, or just their just general in-person business in a better way, and in more an efficient way, and in a way where they can scale up, make more money, have more free time, and impact more people, because that's what it really comes down to. So yeah, awesome. So this has been super helpful, Julia. I'm just wondering if you were to kind of add anything else to any of the personal trainers, fitness coaches, online or in person, what would it kind of be to add to that, to add really, other than them downloading Spotter right now? Link is in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, we'd love to see people giving it a try, but I guess generally my advice, I think, for people who are looking to get further in their fitness career in this aspect would be genuine and be true to yourself, and recommend products that you think your clients actually need. If we can help with that, great. If that's through another method, that's just as good. And looking for ways to earn cash outside of just selling more of your hours is the thing that's going to make your business succeed and you be able to grow. So it is important to be thinking about that.
Love that. Awesome, Julia. Thank you so much for coming on today. So do you kind of do social media, or is there anywhere that you would like people to start following you?
You can check us out on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter.
So this is just all apps. This is for Spotter, yeah?
Yeah, for Spotter, I would say come join our Facebook group, which is Spotter Online.
Cool. I will leave a link to that in the show notes as well. This has been a great podcast. I hope it's been highly valuable to any of the listeners. I really, really do truly believe that it has been. So thanks so much for coming on today, Julia.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me, Lauren. It's been great.
See you later. And that wraps up today's episode of the Business Meets Fitness podcast. I hope you've liked it, and remember, I have left links to absolutely everything in the show notes. If you can't figure out how to get to the show notes, just Google how to get to show notes on podcast app on iTunes, or how to get to show notes on Radio Public. Wherever you're listening to this, it would be great if you could just head to those show notes so you can grab your free resources, because this free email training, the online fitness business training that I'm giving away for totally for free on my email list, is so valuable, and you are going to love it. It is going to change the game for you. I've already had people seeing incredible results, and they are only halfway through the email training as of the 21st of April 2018. So hey, that is that. Super valuable. And again, I've left a link to Spotter and all of Julia's stuff in the show notes. It's super easy for you to find the correct Spotter, because it's a pretty new company, so it's kind of hard to find on Google at the moment. I couldn't find it until Julia sent me the direct link. And also, this is of course my affiliate link. We spoke about affiliate marketing, so if you choose to use it, I of course appreciate you, and it also means that you get to kind of access Spotter and be one of the very first people to access it, because it's a very new thing. So that has been today's episode. In my next episode, I'm actually going to be having a little bit of a rant about the fitness industry, and I think you're going to like it. So make sure to hit subscribe on whatever app you're listening to this on. I'm presuming the majority of people listen to it on iTunes. So if you also do want to leave a review, I of course appreciate you when you do that. If you want to share it on your Instagram story, again, I of course appreciate you when you do that and when you tag me at Lauren Tickner and tag at Business Meets Fitness. But the one thing that I would really appreciate for you to do is literally just tell one friend. Tell one friend and have a good conversation about the Business Meets Fitness podcast with them, because I put out so much free content for you, and seriously, it's the least you can do for me. Tell one friend who you think would like it. It's not only that you're helping me, you're also helping them by sharing it with them, because there's valuable information all for free on here that they can get, and you're also helping yourself, because as we learn, when you recommend good resources and good products to other people, it then builds your brand and it builds their trust in you, because then they're like, oh wow, they really recommended something to me that was awesome. They're not a selfish person and keeping this awesome information for themselves. They really care. So do that for them and they will respect you even more. So that's that. Hope you've liked it. I will see you in the next episode.